Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something really important for any landowners out there in Maluti-a-Phofung or Phumelela.
All right.
And it's about those two organizations you've probably heard of, the Northeastern Free State Fire Protection Association, or NEFSFPA, and of course working on fire WoF.
Yeah.
Now, you always see the WoF teams out there, but what about the NEFSFPA? What's their role exactly?
Right.
And how do both these organizations help you as a landowner manage that risk of wildfire?
Mm-hmm.
And how do they help you stay on the right side of the law?
Yeah, well, it all starts with that National Feld and Forest Fire Act.
Ah, the NVFFA.
Yeah, that NBFFA. That law, it basically says that you as a landowner are responsible for preventing and fighting any fires that happen on your property. So that means things like fire breaks, having equipment ready to go, all that.
Okay, let's break that down for a second. If a fire starts on your land and it spreads and causes damage, you're automatically presumed negligent by the law.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you can prove you weren't.
Yep.
But, and this is big,
Great.
if you're a member of the NEFSFPA, that presumption flips.
Oh, wow.
Meaning that the burden of proof shifts.
Interesting.
So now the person claiming those damages from the fire has to prove that you were negligent.
Okay.
That's a huge legal advantage right there.
Definitely.
So these fire protection associations, or FPAs like the NEFSFPA, they're these statutory organizations, meaning they were actually created by that same Fire Act for landowners to team up and manage that fire risk together.
Right.
And it's not just about putting out fires. It's about predicting those fires, preventing them, managing them, and then suppressing them when they happen. It's all about that proactive risk management.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the NEFSFPA is the local FPA for you if you're in the Eastern Tabo-Omofo-Tsanyana district.
Yeah.
And their goal is simple: reduce the risk and the impact of veld fires.
Yeah.
But here's an interesting thing. They actually coordinate that fire season standby with the WoF teams. They investigate fires for the members to represent their members at like a higher level. And they even use something called FireWeb to manage incidents. So what is that? What is FireWeb?
So FireWeb's this tool that helps them track all the fire incidents and coordinate their resources really effectively.
Okay.
But, for you as a member, NEFSFPA offers some really practical services. Things like online invoicing. You get access to data from those local weather stations they have. Now, that's crucial for understanding that fire risk. And even if you ever have to make an insurance claim, you can get historical data too.
Right.
They also send you fire danger index alerts through WhatsApp.
Oh, nice.
You get training risk maps, help with burning permits, and you can even book WoF teams through them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they covered this massive area, over 1 million hectares.
Huge.
Which just shows the scale of the coordination.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about working on fire. That's that national program we see everywhere with the WoF teams. They started back in 2003, and they have this dual goal: creating jobs and fighting wildfires through something they call integrated fire management. So what is that exactly? How does that work beyond just putting out fires?
Yeah. So integrated fire management means they look at the whole picture of how to manage those fires.
Okay.
So, for example, they might use controlled burns, low-intensity fires. We call them prescribed burns.
Yeah.
And that's to reduce the amount of flammable vegetation out there. It helps restore ecosystems too. And they also actively support those FPAs we were talking about, like the NEFSFPA.
Go ahead.
WoF has over 200 bases around the country they recruit from local communities.
Wow.
Provide extensive training, and they've got those ground crews we see, and even their own firefighting aircraft.
Wow. So they really are a big operation.
Yeah.
So WoF does those fire awareness campaigns, helps with prevention, like you said, with fire breaks and those prescribed burns. And then they're the rapid response when it comes to putting out wildfires. They're the ones that get out there.
Yeah.
So they're a key operational arm for NFSFPA members.
They are, yeah.
So who funds all this?
So most of their funding comes from the Department of Forestry, Fisheries, and the Environment.
Okay.
And it's part of a government program that focuses on job creation. So just to sum up those differences, NEFSFTA is membership-based and locally focused on proactive risk management and legal support.
Right.
While WoF is government-funded national, and they provide that visible firefighting capacity that we see.
Yeah, that explains why we see WoF so much more than the NEFFPA.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have those big teams and the helicopters.
You're impressive.
And they're deployed through those emergency channels that NEFFPA also uses. But their uniforms and their aircraft are hard to miss.
Oh, yeah. You definitely know when they're around.
So it's like NEFSPA is providing the local strategy and WoF is providing the national muscle.
Exactly. NEFSFPA gives WoF the local knowledge they need.
Okay.
And as a member, you can actually book those WoF teams through NEFSFPA for prevention work. So it's a really crucial partnership.
Okay.
Now, for you as a landowner, being a member of NEFSFPA means you get help with that fire prevention. You get those vital legal protections, access to information and training, and it's a cost-effective way to make sure you're complying with the law.
Okay, yeah.
And then WoF is that essential backup for when fires do break out.
So they're both vital parts of the system.
They are, yeah.
So if you're a landowner listening to this and you're in that area, you should head over to nefsfpa.co.za.
Yeah.
And look into getting a membership. If fire can start or spread from your land, you're eligible.
That's right.
Now, there are those annual fees, but the benefits seem pretty significant. You get that weather data, you get the fire alerts, the training, help with the permits, and even the ability to book those WoF teams.
Right.
Plus, the website has their contact details, too.
It does.
So understanding those distinct roles of these two organizations and actively engaging with the NEFSFPA, that's your best strategy as a landowner in that region.
I would agree, yeah.
It's all about protecting your property and being a part of this larger effort to keep the community safe from those wildfires.
Absolutely.
So take some time, explore that NEFSFPA website, and see how their resources can help you specifically.
It's worth it, yeah.
I think it is. And that's it for our deep dive today.
Great stuff.
We'll catch you next time.
See you then.